What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? And what's up, Sussex Squad? Y'all sit down. We got to talk. Now, listen, far be it from me to gossip, but what is going on with Charles and Kate? And you guys, I'm going to actually need some answers. Okay. Now, it seems like, and you guys were right to point this out in the comments, we, and by we, I mean me and everybody else, is moving away from the fact that where is Kate? We have not seen her. What's going on with Charles? And I've been keeping that in the back burner, not because I believe anything Kenton and Pals is saying, not because I believe that those pictures and videos we show were not highly doctored and manipulated, but because I know Kenton and Palace, and if there's one thing we can trust Kenton and Palace to do, it's to somehow mess up when nobody acts. Nobody's watching. Now that Harry and Meghan are popping out, I am 100% convinced that Bulliam, Baldilocks, Lord Voldemort, whatever you want to call William, is going to do something to try to eclipse Harry and Meghan, but it's going to make him look stupid and expose Kensington Palace for being a clown show. Or as you guys like to say, it's going to be business as usual. But there is something weird going on with royal reporters, okay? And I got this from Maple Fields Leaf on Twitter. Go ahead and follow her on Twitter. But a lot of you guys have been pointing this out, but I think she does a great job of just summarizing everything. The second royal reporter in under a month, senior royal reporters, and by senior, I mean that they are friends, close friends with Charles, Camilla, William, or whoever, depending on which reporter you're listening to, is coming out to say some very disturbing things about Kate and Charles. The first is that they are implying that Charles doesn't really have cancer, which I think it's odd coming from royal reporters. And you could look at this as the invisible contract cracking, of course, but it's something I think we need to look into. The second one is suggesting that Kate gave Charles a kidney. Now, I know this rumor has been circulating around for a while, and I don't know if I believe that because honestly, I do think the royal family is evil. I think they're probably like taking kidneys from like village children, like the way Count Dracula used to do or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not believe that the royals, with the way they roll and what they do and the company they keep, Jeffrey Epelator, Jimmy Savile, I don't think that they would actually go through legal ways to get something. I don't think they'd wait their turn, especially if they needed a kidney, But it brings up something interesting in the fact that these are senior royal reporters saying that. Let's get into this, right? Make sure. So again, Fields at Fields Leaf on Twitter. Go ahead and follow her. I think she surmises this perfectly, right? She says, so now two journalists in the UK have said both Charles and Kate do not have cancer. Side note, the reason why I was kind of side-eyeing that Charles doesn't have cancer, and we're not questioning his medical diagnosis, we are talking about what the senior royal reporters are saying, is the fact that when Charles was there for Easter service, William was missing, arguably to spend time with his wife. Where was Rose on that day? Now, I'm not saying, far be it for me to suggest that William and Rose are messing around together. I would just like to know when William goes missing, where's his good friend Rose? I did a story a while back about the way they're united in supporting Kate and making sure they don't stress her out. Yeah, maybe. Are you united in mind, goals, body, or soul? Anyway, I thought it was odd that Charles showed up for Easter service. But yet when Charles showed up on Easter service, they made a big deal about him being separated from the royal family because, as you guys know, when someone is ongoing cancer treatment, I assume Charles is getting chemo, that you cannot be around like general population because you have a compromised immune system, rightly so. I thought it was very, very odd that Charles was doing all that and it was a big show. And I was like, oh gosh. But yet he went out and shook hands with just regular commoners. I thought that was very, very odd. On top of that, William is still not spending time with Charles. He's still not seeing Charles. I don't even really see William with Kate, but I assume that him and Kate are in the same area. I don't know about the same house. I don't know. It's all very weird. They're also like building another house, which some people are saying it's for Kate's divorce settlement. I don't know. It's all very weird. But the weirdest thing is, if you are undergoing chemotherapy, like you said you are, with the weakened immune system, how are you shaking hands with the general public? It's not a joke. A simple flu or cold or anything could take you under. Anyway, especially when they made a big show of separating him from the royal family. I mean, they are scallywags. Maybe he just didn't want to sit next to those inbred people. I'm just saying it's history. I'm not making it up. Go look it up. Anyway, she says, so now two journalists in the UK have said both Charles and Kate do not have cancer. Which is it? Do they or don't they? Who's faking? Who isn't? And what's the real story here? Is this a ploy to garner support for the two members who were accused of making racist comments against Prince Archie? Let's not forget that since the story did come out, as a side note, that's completely been eclipsed. It's odd that the two people that were exposed as being royal racists both got cancer. And I know some people are like, well, baby, that's karma. But again, it's odd. And when you look at the way this family has been moving, when you look at the reports that those photos and videos were highly doctored and or fake, I don't put anything past these people anymore. And did not the AP press say to treat them like North Korea? Propaganda, lies, smear pieces. So I'm doing what the AP press says, okay? They said, was this an attempt to garner popularity or to shut down criticism? Or is this to cover up for something that William did that apparently he can't leave home for? House arrest or restrictions. Now, before you're like, why would there be house arrest or restrictions? Don't forget Thomas Kingston, right? The husband of William's cousin, Michael Kent, that racist family. I know what you're like, which one, right? So don't forget that first they came out and said, oh my God, it was a self-deletion. And then the police said, no, we're opening an investigation. I'm like, why would you open an investigation? Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace officially listed no cause of deletion, which means that self-deletion had to just be a rumor. Now, circle back for the investigation. It's still not concluded. William, the stories are saying, correct me if I'm wrong, was with him on that Sunday when he passed. They were having a party on the grounds that Princess Anne's house is on. That's where their parents live. They were having some type of party. They said it got out of control. We do not know what happened at the party. We do know that William looked like he had bruises around his neck and a black eye. Princess Anne's husband, who's 1 billion years old, had a black eye. This guy self-deleted on his parents. They said that there was a handgun found nearby, but it was a traumatic head injury, but it wasn't a bang, but it was a handgun. Again, all very odd. Do with it what you will, but it's all very odd. And then they started running articles saying, what would happen if Prince William was charged with a crime? And then the palace came out and said his death had nothing to do with Prince William. And we were all like, what are you guys talking about? So keep that in mind. Okay, but let's continue. Are the Wales fighting out divorce settlements? I think that's what it is. And get this, why was the nanny fired? What on earth is going on there? Their lies and conspiracies aren't even believable. The House of Sussex is the only reputable part of the family. Lord, what does an aneurysm feel like? Now, when it comes to House of Sussex being reputable, I don't even think we need to put Meghan and Harry in the same sentence. They are just living their lives as normal people. No dead relatives, no fake pictures, no anything. The fact that them just living their life and just being rich people minding their business is more admirable than this show of the so uncold royalty. Maplefield Lease goes on to say, I can't get an honest answer on the nanny other. So somebody said, what happened to Nanny Maria? She says, I can't get an honest answer on the nanny other than she is gone. Most accounts say she is fired, but the royalist diehards say she quit. There's no official comment other than she is no longer employed by the Wells. Just more questions. First of all, and this is what I want to say. Why? If your wife is very sick and this nanny has raised all the children since they were babies, why would you fire the royal nanny? Now, she wasn't living, right? But why would you fire the royal nanny while your kids needed stability? we do need to know that. I think it's important for you guys to know that the Spanish media, Royal Rota, were the first to leak that Kate was in a coma. They were saying that the nanny was fired shortly after that. Now, she could have quit. She could have been fired. But like Maple Fields says, um, it's rumored she's no longer in employ. The interesting thing about that is nobody knows whether she leaked, but the Spanish media, the nanny is Spanish. People said that she was just fired just as a matter of course because they didn't want any leaks coming out about what was going on with Kate. Let us not forget that we are going into May, and we were going into May, and there is zero sightings, legit, verified, undisputed sightings of Kate. Keep that in mind. I do not believe, I look at the way we broke those videos down that Kate put out. Please go look at them. There's something very fishy. We have not seen any undisputed live footage of Kate. Anyway, right? They go on to say, somebody says, how long is it typical for a family like them to employ a nanny? Now that all the kids are in school, it's possible they've moved out of the nanny era and moved into something like the bodyguard. She says Lewis is still very young. I would have thought they would have kept her on for at least a few more years, especially if Kate is recovering. Big if, recovering for someone, right? Again, what else? There's more. Okay, 12/28/23. That's the date that there was ambulances rushing from the estate. A lot of people said it might have been Kate. It might have been Charles. It was somebody in those ambulances. Thomas Kingston's odd passing. Nanny's departure equals bad trouble. It's all very strange. That was from Lisa Perrick, right? Also, I just want to make sure I credit everybody. Song Dog 2009 Connoisseur had the first question. Also, Royally Shady said, wait, who said Kate doesn't have cancer? I know Cara Malone said Charles doesn't. That was the Royal Rota that said that. That part, I don't know, because it looked like he had chemo burns on his mouth. Again, Charles might have cancer, but why are these senior royal reporters coming out, right? Maple Lee Phil said Angela Levine, of all people, said that Kate does not have cancer. Now, why is that significant? Angeline Levine is like this with Camilla. I don't think that they would be letting anything leak that they do not want to leak. She says, at this point of not believing any of them, there haven't been any definite signs of life. For all we know, she's Kate's gone, and they're just waiting to say cancer did her in, but it's really Willie, and that was because of the decoy convoy, and the reason he's on house arrest, if you believe that, blah 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 blah. Foolishness on all fronts. Again, listen, we can keep going on and on with this, and why is it? Because nobody believes the royals anymore. But you guys, I think we can all agree on multiple fronts. There's something really fishy going on in the House of Windsor. And as much as they try to change the subject, this will go on and on and on. I'm waiting to see as to whether Kate shows or even makes a balcony appearance on Trooping of the Color. Let's also not forget they said Kate's recovery is going well. They just said this last week. Kate's going well. William has canceled several appearances. I know what they're saying about Kate's sick, but they said that she is just beginning chemo, unless they're lying about how sick she is. Again, she is a public figure. She is a head of state. Every head of state, you are entitled to health updates. Again, it's all very odd. And it draws the question, how sick is Kate? But I got to be honest with you, and this is just my opinion. Do not believe me. Go and do your own research. But it is my opinion that more and more it looks like the Spanish Rota were actually telling the truth. Because as much as they kick and scream and yell and try to talk down to people, we have not seen Kate. And now as we entered into this good May, I really like to know, she's taking the kids to, they're saying they're taking her to this. She's taking the kids to sporting. She's going to be working from home. So it's time to revisit, where actually is Kate? Because the more time flies and the more they cancel engagements and the more they say William can't think, how sick is Kate? Again, she said it's very early. how sick is Kate? Because however sick she is, I would imagine it's a lot more sick than Charles because Charles is actually still working. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.